If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't black.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
It's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful.
I would have to ask black voters the question, like, why do the old white men, who have the most racist legislation towards black people, why are they, the top two front runners when it comes to black support? Joe Biden and Bloomberg.
That's right, run.
Let's go Brandon, gas prices high. Let's go Brandon, tax twice as high.
Sleepy Joe, he got 2 left feet. He always in the basement hiding so we can't be impeached. Hiding so we can't be impeached.
Needed. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn. You see him scared shook, he's a democratic socialist, but they don't even know what it means, they just roll with it. Get over it, check the resume, fighting for civil rights ever since the first day. The Pied Piper Bernie Sanders for the middle class. What a GOP wants to put our interests last. With the right ideas to lead this great nation. No handouts, no special interest groups. He don't lie to give votes, telling you the truth. And while the media wants to downplay him, he still gon' fight. Tell him all he ain't playing. Push him for higher wages so we all can feed our families. The only one I know who can conquer this insanity. And when people need health care, kids need school. When it comes to politics, Bernie's breaking rules. No attack against on the competition's needed. He's running on the facts and it's something that we needed. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make him feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the right, they can feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. All the way to the White House, feel the burn. Feel the burn, make them feel the burn. Till the haters on the left, they can feel the burn.
Walk up in the club, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! I don't give a fuck, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Presidential sluts, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! When I'm in your state, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Put food on your plate, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Ain't no need to hate, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie. Walk up in the club, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! I don't give a fuck, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Presidential sluts, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! When I'm in your state, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Put food on your plate, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Ain't no need to hate, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie. Walk up in the club, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! I don't give a fuck, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Presidential sluts, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! When I'm in your state, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Put food on your plate, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Ain't no need to hate, I feel like I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch, I'm Bernie Sanders. Woo! Bitch.
In case you don't know, the American people hold the President of the United States in contempt. They hold the Republican Party in contempt. They hold the Democratic Party in contempt. And now I won't yield. As some of you may know, I spent 4 years of my life here in Chicago. It had been 9 years since the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision that desegregated schools in America. But the school officials here in Chicago at that time had still refused to meaningfully desegregate the city's public schools. Black schools were overcrowded and underfunded, with many students forced to share chairs and desks. Meanwhile, a report at that time found over 380 white classrooms were completely empty. But instead of putting black children in those empty classrooms, the school officials decided to put old trailers, you know what old trailers look like? Put old trailers on the black school grounds. And those trailers were called Willis wagons after the Chicago school superintendent of that time, Mr. Benjamin Willis. Those trailers were a monstrosity. Students would boil in the heat and freeze in the cold. They were infested with rats. They were an insult and a disgrace. And the community fought back. One day, many of us went to the spot where they were planning to put the trailers. We were corralled by the police and told not to cross a line. Well, some of us did cross that line. And, of course, we were arrested. And we spent that night in jail until we were bailed out in the morning by the NAACP. As a student at the University of Chicago in the early 60s, I became involved with a civil rights organization called the Congress on Racial Equality Corps, which was one of the leading civil rights groups of that period.
I don't know if I can do a better job at chanting than that. That's damn good. Hi, my name is Michael Render. I'm professionally known as Killer Mike, absolutely. I want to tell you, I love you. I want to tell you I respect you. And I'm going to digress right now because there's a great person in our midst. He has been working on this protracted struggle on the behalf of the workers long before I arrived on earth. And I'll be working on this long after he leaves us. And hopefully that's no time soon. I'd like to introduce you guys to Senator from Vermont. Should have been our president and hopefully will be. Senator Bernard Sanders. Please come up and speak to the people today, Sanders.
Let me begin by telling you that it is a real honor to be with you today, and I mean that sincerely, because what you are doing requires an enormous amount of courage. And what you're doing is not only for yourselves and your kids and your families. What you are doing is for workers all across this country. Because we're living in a nation, as all of you know, where the very, very rich are becoming much richer, while half of our people are living paycheck to paycheck, and millions are working for starvation wages. And you here in Bessemer, Alabama, you're prepared to stand up and to say that every worker in this country deserves to have decent wages, decent working conditions, decent benefits, and to be treated with dignity, not as a robot. And when you stand up and fight, you are taking on here not only one of the most powerful corporations in this country, you are taking on the wealthiest individual
in the world, and you're doing it in an anti-union state. So what you're doing requires courage, and from the bottom of my heart, I salute you. And today I say to Jeff Bezos, who is worth $180 billion, not million, billion, a man who has made tens of billions of dollars in the last year during this pandemic. And what I say to Mr. Bezos, why, when you have so much money, more money that can be spent in a million lifetimes, why are you spending millions trying to defeat an effort on the part of workers here who want nothing more than decent wages, decent benefits, decent working conditions? Now, the reason that Amazon is putting so much energy to try to defeat you is they know that if you succeed here, it will spread all over this country.
We want an opportunity to address. We want an opportunity
Okay. Well, ask him.
Give him a check and we're shutting this event down now. If you do not listen to her, your event will be shut down right now. Right now. Your decision. Make a decision now.
We are going to let you on the mic. Okay. All right, so we are trying to be reasonable. We are trying to be reasonable. We are trying to be reasonable. We are trying. We're gonna let you on the mic.
A video surfaced on the net recently of Black Lives Matter activists interrupting Bernie Sanders' rally.
Yeah, if you guys don't know who Bernie Sanders is, he's a senator of Vermont and he's trying to be the Democratic candidate.
He's definitely against police brutality. He had a role in the civil rights movement. He's definitely supporting black people.
Yeah, they were like, he's one of the few candidates who are actually addressing racial issues and trying to be like for black people and help them.
Which makes no sense as to why these two Black Lives Matter activists would just go up and interrupt his little speech.
Senator Sanders stood up when he didn't have to stand up as a young man. The way to define the character of a person is what they do when the cameras are not on, what they do when they don't benefit from it personally. He is a champion for civil rights and social justice in this country. The time is right and the cause is now. Senator Sanders understands that we as a country, black, white, Asian, Native American, young, seasoned, Muslim, Christian, Jew, Gentile, atheist, all of us together.
Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me.
All I hear's a lot of rhetoric, a bunch of sellouts still trying to be the president, lining up their pockets with that Wall Street money. Now they trying to throw dirt until we all get muddy, but I'ma make them quack, make them squeal, rubber ducky. In 2016 you Bernie haters got lucky. Now it's almost 2020, it's about to get ugly. I'ma knock on every door and I don't care who gon' judge me now.
Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me. Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me. Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me.
We counting every vote, they think they got it in the bag. $27 and they still getting mad. So progressive and we never gon' let up. Burn the establishment, I'm screaming from the neck up. This is our time, this is our fight. These are my kids, this is my life. This ain't about the left, this ain't about the right. Nobody cares if your MAGA hat's on tight. Your little baby still yelling for the wall still, while the poor still trying to pay their light bill.
Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of small for me. Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me.
All I hear's a lot of rhetoric, a bunch of sellouts still trying to be the president, lining up their pockets with that Wall Street money. Now they trying to throw dirt until we all get muddy, but I'ma make them quack, make them squeal, rubber ducky. In 2016 you Bernie haters got lucky. Now it's almost 2020, it's about to get ugly. I'ma knock on every door and I don't care who gon' judge me now.
Standing tall, our revolution's calling for the rights of all. No dreams too big or small for me.
And formally nominate their presidential candidate. Now, at this point, as of right now, there's a strong chance that nominee will be Bernie Sanders. If that happens, if Sanders becomes the official leader of the Democratic Party, there will be chaos. The party's funders on Wall Street will recoil in terror at what's to come. They'll be joined in that terror by the establishment class in New York and Los Angeles, as well as by the entire intel and foreign policy bureaucracies in Washington. And all of these people demand to know one thing. How'd this happen? How did Bernie Sanders become the Democratic nominee? And that's a good question. Here's part of the answer. It all started last night at the Democratic debate in Des Moines, when CNN President Jeff Zucker decided to destroy the Sanders for President campaign. Now, Zucker poses as a television executive, but he operates like a political consultant. His latest client is the Democratic establishment, which has dispatched him to crush Bernie Sanders before he can take control of the party. So just before last night's debate, CNN ran a story claiming, without any proof at all, that Bernie Sanders had once told Elizabeth Warren that a woman could not be president. Sanders denied that charge vigorously, but the message was unmistakable and crystal clear. He's a sexist. Don't vote for him. CNN relentlessly hyped the allegations on air, and then once again during the debate. Watch how Zucker's hand-selected moderator framed the story.
Senator Sanders, I do want to be clear here. You're saying that you never told Senator Warren that a woman could not win the election.
That is correct.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election?
I disagreed.
Senator Warren, what did you think when Senator Sanders told you a woman could not win the election? Which he clearly did because he's old and hates women and also lies a lot. Just more journalism from our friends on cable news. Suddenly, in weed-scented apartments around Brooklyn and the Bay Area, legions of Bernie supporters understood for the very first time why Donald Trump is always attacking CNN. Why? Because CNN deserves it. And thousands of them reached for their credit cards in response. By this morning, the Sanders campaign was reporting its best ever fundraising on a debate day, with more than 100,000 individual donations. So it turns out it's possible to level attacks that are so stupid and so unfair that they wind up helping the person you're trying to hurt. That's a lesson CNN has repeatedly failed to learn in the Trump era, and they were no smarter this time.
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
What?
I think you called me a liar on national TV.
Let's not do it right now. You want to have that discussion? We'll have that discussion. You called me. You told me. All right, let's not do it.
Over.
Imagine fighting for the same shit for like 50 years of your life, even when it wasn't popular to do so, like gay marriage or being against the military-industrial complex, the media, the establishment, everyone trying to bring you down, everyone on your own side trying to smear you, rigging you out of an election, then you running again, only for somebody wearing a bootleg shitty mask of your face to appear, then all those same people that were trying to bring you down, kissing that person's ass and saying things like, they're like you, only a woman. So it's good this time.
Why would you pick Sanders over Warren?
So is she the better version of a Bernie Sanders for?
She's sort of a better version of Sanders. However, she's presenting herself as a better version of Bernie Sanders, the better Bernie.
Bernie Sanders makes my skin crawl.
And Boosie went off on Leah Thomas, which is the transgender who won. I think she won some type of championship in swimming. Like, don't get me wrong, because I don't keep up with none of this, but I see a lot of people talking about it. And that's why I had to look up on it. Leah Thomas, Penn swimmer, becomes the first known transgender athlete to win a D1 national title. And an uproar, of course, is because when he was swimming as a man, he didn't come nowhere near this.
He was ranked 168 in the men.
462.
462. And he's number one in the women. Cheater. That's saying a guy who makes an F yearly round passes the ACT with an A. No, you cheat. Let them women have their glory, man. A woman pussy bleed. Like, bruh. You know what women go through, man? Sit your ass down, man. Get the fuck out the pool, man.
Hey, women's sports in general, I feel, have always had an uphill battle compared to the male sports. You know,
women don't get paid like men.
Exactly.
Women don't go through the stuff, bro.
Yeah.
A woman pussy bleed.
Look at the shoulders on this bitch. Like some damn coat hangers.
Yeah, she like damn dolphin right there, man. She made for swimming.
I mean, look, man, you crazy as hell.
Crazy as hell right there.
Look at them damn pecs. Look at them shoulders. See the pec right there where it meets the shoulder? When a woman does that, there's not a hunk of meat right there. Yeah. That's a chicken breast right there.
Look at the girl in the back. She's like, oh, fuck it, I'm not going.
Man, look at them damn shoulders.
Look at the dudes. Look at the shoulders on that bitch.
Look at the girl in the background. Man, look at them damn shoulders. Her damn mouth is open. This what's that old saying? A picture says 1,000 words. That looks ridiculous to me.
Why, hello there! My name is Lady Maga USA, as you can see, and I am a conservative drag queen. And when I say conservative, I mean that I love my country, I love my Constitution, I believe in my Second Amendment, and I believe in freedom for all. And that includes religious people who might not necessarily see eye to eye with me and what I do. Whew. I just got back from a huge Republican event here in Utah. Dennis Prager was speaking, and it was so hot. I grew up Mormon, and I came out of the closet as a gay Mormon, and that was very difficult. However, coming out of the closet as a Trump-supporting drag queen conservative was 100 times more difficult than that. I lost all of my performance opportunities. I lost the vast majority of my LGBT friends. And recently, I was fired from Delta Airlines after an impeccable 8-year career as a flight attendant because of my politics.
Most things these days can get you labeled as transphobic, which is really fascinating to me. I remember back in the day, if someone said they didn't agree with the trans or gay lifestyle due to religious beliefs, for example, that was the end of the story. We just accepted the reality that not everyone will accept everyone else. That's just life. But now the rhetoric has progressed, or regressed, I should say, to giving labels to those that don't agree. What does that accomplish exactly? Nothing productive, that's for sure.
The LGBT community can act loving and caring until you step out of line. Leftist ideology is the only ideology that is accepted in the community, and if you don't believe in it, you're excluded. But they don't acknowledge gay and trans people who have different beliefs than them. They don't acknowledge gay and trans people who want to wear the MAGA hat and go to Pride. I have been accused endless of times of dealing with internalized transphobia. I think this is the most common hate I get as a transsexual who's not crazy, is that I must hate myself if I don't support children transitioning, millions of genders, no gatekeeping in trans clinics. Yes, these are the people telling me that I hate myself because I want to get conservatives approval of transsexualism, while they're the ones with the flag saying queers for Palestine.
So why are you guys out here protesting for the drag queen story time?
We're not protesting. We're not protesters.
Okay.
Check out our Facebook page. We're not protesters at all.
What are you guys doing?
That's, you know what? If you don't know,
cleaning up
then you're
granola
not much of a journalist. So why don't you find your press pass, bring it back and share it with us.
Well, it said that there was going to be a drag protest today. It was going to be to protect drag queen story time.
Okay? I have no idea who you are, other than, you know, what you are.
Okay, goodbye. Oh, excuse
Lady,
you.
Watch out. God.
Oh, excuse
Lady,
you.
Watch out. God.
She just assaulted me. That are not transgender and that are not gay.
Don't talk to them.
Excuse you. You're the one coming over towards me.
Please don't talk to them, because they'll just edit it for their own advantage.
Do you think it's appropriate to be having children? Do you think that stripper time story hour would be appropriate? Don't touch me. Get your hand off of me. Don't you touch me.
Get back inside. Get back inside. Everyone.
Okay, so they're putting their tasers on. Did you know that brandishing a taser like that is a crime? All right.
And I have to be here and stand in solidarity with
Sure.
these
Well,
people.
here's the difference between that. You're black and you cannot change that. That is the color of your skin. A drag queen is a more akin to a profession or a career. It's more like a job. No one's objecting to a transgender story hour or an LGBTQ story hour or even a women's story hour, right? Opposed to like stripper story hour. People are in opposition to a lifestyle career being promoted to children. So you can't really compare it to something like your race or your sexuality because it's more like a career choice and a lifestyle choice.
Okay, and so in a vacuum, I kind of agree with a lot of what you're saying, but you're missing the point on the legality and the moral rightness of banning anything for any reason, such as the things that we're talking about. So I appreciate your being out here, and I support your right to do that. I spent 6 years in the military fighting for you to stand out here just as much as I did for these people to stand here, but that's my take on it, and I hope that it's a respectful opinion.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you respectfully sharing your opinion and interviewing. I hope others can take a lesson from how you are, because we can respectfully have disagreeing opinions, but also share and communicate differing ideas.
The
so I
second
appreciate
you guys
that.
try and shout her down, then we look like the people that are not worthy of having their opinions heard. Right?
Your questions have been very offensive, personally directed, offensive to people.
Offense is taken, it's not given. Offense is taken. I'm just asking questions that people want to know. There's a lot of people in America that have these same questions they want to hear from people that are supporting this.
Now, Drag Queen Story Hour is this new phenomena that has actually started in the States, and it involves men dressed up as women in drag, which is traditionally an adult pastime, reading storybooks to children. Now, a lot of people that like to feel like they're really good and really liberal and really tolerant champion this and think that children should be involved in adult activities and adult pastimes. Normal people, they don't agree with it at all. And for the people that say, oh, they're just literally reading a storybook to kids, what's your problem? Are they though?
So, okay, I'll show you at the side so you get a better view of it. And you're crouched down into this sort of position here, so your bum's sticking out. Hope you're taking this all in. And then you just move your bum up and down like that, and that's twerking.
No, they're not. It involves a lot more. It involves registered sex offenders being allowed to read to children as young as 2, because the library that allowed the drag queen to come failed to do a basic background check. It involves men exposing their genitals accidentally to children. Is it homophobic or transphobic or whatever the hell you want to call it to have a problem with that. No, of course it isn't, because these are children. These simple truths seem to upset a lot of people, a lot of delusional people, if I do say so myself, who make this false link between having a problem with sexualized activities being promoted to children and gayness in general.
Hi, I'm Facelift. I use the pronouns she and her, and I'm queer identified.
Okay, so a little bit of tea for you guys. This drag queen in the orange hair actually was in a previous video of mine, and they threatened to sue me for talking about them. So we'll see if they threaten to sue again, but try me, bitch.
Hi, I'm Nadine, a sex educator.
And I'm Eva, a sex researcher.
I use the pronouns she and her.
Never would have guessed. Thanks for letting me know.
Well, a new bill in Florida aims to stop teachers from discussing sex and gender identity with young children, and not like 8th graders, like kindergartners. The bill in the Florida Senate covers, well, kindergartners through 3rd grade. But you're probably not hearing that from your local news organization. They're calling this the Don't Say Gay bill, as if it's banning conversation about gay people or sex.
It's through and through, and nowhere in our curriculum does it have anything about teaching sexual orientation or sexual identity.
Okay,
so for them to
let me say this. See, that's cool. I mean, if all gay teachers like you felt the same way, was not bringing it into the classroom, in the curriculum, and teaching this stuff to kids, this bill would have never been brought. And it's not, and the Don't Say Gay bill, that's not the name of the bill. Gay, you can't even find the word gay in the bill. It's just not to groom kids. That's the whole point of the bill. Because that's countless videos on TikTok of gay teachers talking about pronouns, their sexuality, and all about the LGBT community. There's even YouTube videos educating kids about pronouns. It's meant for small children. Yeah, teaching kids about being trans and stuff like that. Go back, when I was in school, kids in kindergarten, you learn to write your name. Yeah. You eat some crackers and go to take your little nap. Little cup of apple juice. You learn how to color and stay inside the lines. Yeah. They wasn't talking, even if the teachers were straight, they was not talking about their sexuality. They was not talking about their... You talking to a brick wall. This dude ain't trying to hear all that.
Anyway, I have another message for heterosexual women. The ones who have children. I have no idea why you want drag queens to read books to your children. I have no idea. What in the hell has a drag queen ever done to make you have so much respect for them and admire them so much? Other than put on makeup and jump on the floor and writhe around and do sexual things on stage. I have absolutely no idea why you would want that to influence your child. Would you want a stripper or a porn star to influence your child? It makes no sense at all. A drag queen performs in a nightclub for adults. There is a lot of filth that goes on, a lot of sexual stuff that goes on. And backstage, there's a lot of nudity, sex, and drugs. Okay? So I don't think that this is an avenue you would want your child to explore.
They said, I don't think that's an avenue that you want your kids to explore, especially at fucking 6. Yeah, kids should be looking at Spider-Man, Wonder Woman, Superman. I would say Barbie dolls. I would say Buzz Lightyear, but they just ruined all that. Yeah, Buzz Lightyear just saw his Buzz Lightyear just saw his first gay scene. Even Buzz was like, man, come on. But seriously, you know what? Let me say something. What these drag queens are doing involving kids, you're actually hurting the gay and lesbian movement. Yeah. Because I spoke to a gay guy just today. Yeah. Since all these drag queens start involving kids, he said this guy's flaming gay, right? You can obviously see him when he's gay. Yeah. That he's gay. But he said... Flaming gay, huh? He is flaming gay. He's got flames coming up. As soon as he looks at you and make eye contact, you say, oh, man, that dude's gay. But he told me ever since this whole drag queens and all this stuff involving
Story
kids.
Hour and don't forget the trans is competing against females in sports.
Yeah, and just the gay pride parade, you saw the filth and lewd acts to be doing at that parade, that people just walk by him and they'll drop the F word.
Yeah.
It said, what you drag people are doing, you are lumping in the gay people who that don't like what you're doing with the kids.
Yeah.
The people who see that, they're lumping good gay people, if there's such a thing, which there are.
Yeah.
There's, good gay people, just like there's good straight and bad straight people.
That's kind of racist, though, to generalize a demographic of people based on a couple of drag queens. That's racist.
Now, if the last 2 weeks have taught us anything, it's that the left is obsessed with teaching children about sexual and gender identity. Now, by the time the kids get into middle school, they're then bombarded by efforts to undo any semblance of traditional values that their parents might have taught them. Teachers and administrators, often with very fun personalities, by the way, are eager to share their own experiences with sexual and gender identity, like this assistant principal in Burlington, Vermont.
Students call me AP Ellis since I don't use gendered pronouns in my name. I personally identify both as gender nonconforming and gender non-binary, in that I do not feel just female or male, but I feel a mix of that within myself.
Then this complaint about misgendering.
As a trans person, it does get really tiresome in conversations where I'm being misgendered and I'm carrying the discomfort of another adult for their mistake, and sort of have to take the burden of the discomfort of that. And again, I think kids do a really miraculous job of not doing that.
Okay, I got it. Children who don't misgender are miraculous because they haven't been ruined by their more traditional parents. I understand.
The bill in question is formally called Parental Rights in Education, and fundamentally it prohibits schools from withholding from parents what their children in years 1 to 3 of elementary school are being taught, especially in biology and sex ed. The bill doesn't explicitly ban anything, but it mandates transparency, which in turn leads to some natural restrictions. That alone shouldn't cause too much ire, but it rubs some very powerful and very organized people in very high places the wrong way, which is subsequently why the media collectively refers to it as the Don't Say Gay Bill, which is a complete strawman and total misrepresentation of the bill itself. But this deliberate mislabeling brings about emotion and ire, because while facts may not care about feelings, feelings also don't care about facts. This then shuts down any debate and enables anyone not wildly opposed to the bill to be vilified. That is what happened to Bob Chapek. Of course, the bill and its ensuing outrage would have happened anyway, with or without Bob Chapek at the helm of Disney. But since it happened while he was running the show, the deliberately misleading narrative of what the bill is was used as a means to take Chapek to task for Disney's increasing political neutrality.
So during third period, we have announcements and they do the Pledge of Allegiance. I always tell my class, stand if you feel like it, don't stand if you feel like it, say the words if you want, don't have to say the words. So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there, but I took it down during COVID because it made me uncomfortable. And I packed it away and I don't know where, and I haven't found it yet. But my kid today goes, hey, it's kind of weird that we just stand and then, we say it to nothing. And I'm like, oh, well, I gotta find it. Like, I'm working on it. I got you. In the meantime, I tell this kid, we do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, oh, that one?
Well, my classroom celebrates diversity. It's probably my favorite thing to teach. We usually use kids' books to talk about this kind of thing. Recently we started wearing pronoun pins, and the kids get to pick a new pronoun pin every day. We have some that pick she, her every single day, and we have some that change it up.
So what do you think about that? Different pronoun pins every day for 4-year-olds.
Oh my God.
First of all,
we've spoken about this.
Why do they always look like children themselves? Like, these people seem to be caught in the mindset of a child. Pronouns are not Pokemon cards. You're not supposed to collect them, trade them, swap them in. Like, it'd be one thing, it's like, if there wasn't serious ramifications long term, but like, you're setting these kids on a trajectory toward puberty blockers. It's not just pronouns.
Right.
If you start confusing a kid about what their gender is early on, that's the trajectory.
This doesn't even have to be necessarily about gender, because people aren't even, like, actual gender, how you and I understand it. Like, gender, or like being gender dysphoric or not being gender dysphoric. This doesn't even mean that to them anymore.
No.
This is how I feel today. I feel more masculine and more feminine.
Right, which
Back
is like,
in the day,
congrats, but...
Yeah, that's like everybody and every day.
A lot of the gender ideologues that we see, and you see them, they're all the teachers, it's very much a suburban, white, never had a struggle in my life, female thing.
Yes, and that's a psychological thing that we need to have a therapist. Like, seriously.
Every video we do should have a therapist.
Because, like, what? It is a common theme. I'm not sure what it is exactly yet.
You don't see black teachers doing this?
No.
You don't see Mexican teachers doing this? You don't see Asian teachers doing this? This is such a white liberal thing. White liberals are destroying the planet.
All right, so something that's really cool and unique about who I am is that I am transgender. So we touched a little bit about that at the beginning of this week in the book that Miss Hammond read, but I'm going to give you my explanation about what it means to be transgender as well. So when babies are born, the doctor looks at them and they make a guess about whether the baby is a boy or a girl based on what they look like.
It's not a guess. They observe a penis or a vagina. Your gender is observed. Your gender is not assigned. It is observed. God, I hate that.
They're making the doctors look bad for doing their job.
If your ideology requires you to lie, that's not right. Like, you're lying. Doctors do not guess. Aside from that, everything is fine with what he's saying, other than the fact that he's saying it to, like, little kids.
6, 7-year-olds.
There is no reason to tell these kids this. Again, it's from a narcissistic place, because it's all about you. You're filming it because you want these accolades on Twitter or on TikTok, wherever you're posting it. You want the validation from the kids too, which is very strange.
Its issue is we didn't accept trans people and gay people for, so now we're going to overcorrect it and say that everybody is gay and trans.
How about you don't beat up gay kids and you also don't worship them? How about that? How about they're just people? How about we're all just people? And also, how about leave kids the fuck alone? Like, kids are not a receptacle for your ideology or for your beliefs or for your orientation. Kids are there learning about the world, and for you to be someone that confuses them, gaslights them, uses them for accolades, attention, money, whatever, you're a disgusting person. I'm actually becoming much more radical on this issue. I'm sorry to go off like this.
No,
I'm actually becoming much more radical on this issue than I was maybe even like a few weeks ago. I used to think like, oh, these are just deluded people that don't know what they're doing. I think they're disgusting people. I no longer think they're just people that don't know what they're doing or they're idiots. I think they're disgusting bad people. And also, sometimes when I watch these, I forget that I'm trans too. I like see it from like the outside looking in. And I have to remember, I'm trans as well. If I was a teacher, would I be doing any of this? No, because I'm not a narcissist, because I don't want to confuse children.
Right.
So that's how I know they're bad people, because I would never do this, and I'm trans too.
I thought of that too. Like, I have my two best friends. They both have kids. I don't sit there and talk to them about gender and sexual orientation and all these things. Like, I tell them, like, oh, if they ask me if I'm dating somebody, or like, who is that? Oh, it's my girlfriend. Oh, okay, that's it. And they don't ask me any other questions.
Yeah.
If they did, I would have to ask their parents first. You know what I mean? I would always ask their parents, because when it gets to sexual territory, I'm not talking to them about it.
100%.
Because obviously they're gonna know, like, I'm holding a girl's hand. Because I think that's fine to hold the straight people can do that, gay people can do it.
Yeah.
That's the boat I'm in.
And
Tara Reid, who was a former Senate staffer for Joe Biden in Delaware, came forward with sexual assault allegations against him. She also said that she went to the higher-ups in the staff to report that he had sexually assaulted her, and that she received absolutely no help. I'm about to give you the specific details of what he allegedly did. So for anyone who might be uncomfortable with that, just wanted to give you fair warning. So she said that he had penetrated her with his fingers, okay, which is a serious allegation. And she also says that she was abruptly fired after she had reported this. And that was an allegation that was corroborated by one of the interns that she was overseeing at the time. Now,
the important caveat here, Tara Reid accused Joe Biden of other things in the past that were not as grave. So of stroking her hair, etc., which Biden has done to many women, and that is also wrong, but it's obviously on a different level. Ethical question that my daughter got her hair stroked by Joe Biden, and everyone knows Joe Biden does that to every woman. It seems unlikely that that would have risen to the level of the question that she's asking on the program there. But I wanted to make sure that you guys knew that just in case. And there were other allegations too about how Biden wanted her to serve drinks to some people because he thought she had nice legs. So that's your full context, and you should know that context. But let's be honest, if this was anyone else, a Republican, look, I don't know any show that's tougher on Republicans than us. But if it was a Republican, everybody would be shouting this from the rooftops. If it was Trump, definitely. If it was a progressive, if it was Bernie Sanders, definitely shouting it from the rooftops. But they will soon, because this is gigantic, and we're past the primaries. So now that we're past the primaries, Ryan Grimm's reporting will be taken more seriously. The Republicans will pounce on it, and then the media, which absolutely positively refused to cover it during the primaries, will now probably talk about it for a long, long time.
We're in an unwinnable situation. Just like I'm thinking about, of course, the alleged victim here, because this is something devastating to go through, and the way that she's been completely trashed online in the media has been just absolutely disgusting. And then I can't help think about the state of the country and where we are right now with this unbelievably incompetent and dangerous president, how we desperately need to get him out of office, and how our only line of defense at this point is a man who's facing a serious sexual assault allegation and has difficulty, even doing an interview without losing his train of thought. We're in so much trouble, and we're partly in trouble because, the whole establishment decided to prop Biden up in the last minute because they realized, oh my God, Bernie might win. We can't have it. Everyone needs to coalesce around Biden. Everyone needs to support him. We got to get everyone on board. They did what they did. It worked. But now we're dealing with two unbelievably terrible options. And I don't know. I don't know what to say. We're in such a bad place right now as a country.
They unearthed the footage. Also, her former neighbor and former co-worker came forward, talked to the press. They said that Tara Reid had told them about the assault back in the 1990s. The former neighbor is a Joe Biden supporter. She is a lifelong Democrat. She is planning on voting for Joe Biden in November. That piece of evidence is significant because according to Alyssa Milano, everybody who actually gave a damn about Tara Reid, they were all just a bunch of Bernie bros. And now more mainstream media is actually covering this story. It was on Fox News. Even CNN did a segment. They did a 7-minute segment. And then today is Tuesday. I'm probably not going to post this on Tuesday. Nancy Pelosi and Hillary Clinton decided that now would be the perfect time to endorse Joe Biden. Stacey Abrams made a statement about how the New York Times did a very thorough reporting and they didn't find any evidence, so nothing to see here. I'm going to continue supporting Joe Biden. Please pick me for VP. Please, 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 please. So my main question now is, what do you think that Donald Trump is doing? The people that make his ads. I cannot predict the future, but I can imagine what they might be doing now, right? Take some footage from some of those women's marches, pussy grabs back, that sort of thing. Show tweets and other video clips of Nancy Pelosi calling out Brett Kavanaugh, calling out Republicans for supporting Brett Kavanaugh. Intersplice that with her endorsement of him. And then also, hey, if Biden's a rapist, then so is Trump. Why don't we vote for the better rapist? Why don't we vote for the rapist with the best policies? There's a problem with that, though.
This primary to me is not about policy. It's about beating Trump. Period. That's it. End of story.
We were told that this election was not about who had the best policies. It was not about who would make the best president.
It's not about who's going to make the best president. It's really about who's going to beat this man, this horrible, horrible president.
Trump is a big meanie. He says mean things on Twitter. It's really embarrassing. It hurts my feelings.
We have to go to Republicans and say, okay, you're a Republican, but you can't tell me that your children are proud of the president the things he said.
Look, here's the deal. Just let him go. He's an idiot. Let him go. You're a damn liar, man. That's not true.
Why attack Sanders? Why? You're getting nervous, man. Calm down. It's okay.
As a mother or as a father, I mean, how can you be that president as a leader?
There were 3 million people that were deported and separated from their families. Yeah. We had this classification of families.
You should vote for Trump. You should vote for Trump.
We need to nominate someone that is going to beat Trump. And bring honesty and integrity and dignity and truth back to the United States of America. Empathy, compassion, all these things that I want to teach my children growing up in this great country. We need someone that's going to represent that to the best of their ability.
All of those things that Joe Biden totally stands for. They're standards because at least my husband isn't like Trump, right?
Earlier today, Michael Steele said Democrats have a choice. You want to be woke or you want to win. Do you agree with him?
I think it's a great point.
Remember, kids, in order to beat Donald Trump, we have to forget about being woke. Forget about any and all standards. People on the left are constantly told that if you have standards and if you dare bring those standards with you into the ballot box, then you are a fucking traitor. The only standards that you're allowed to have is whether or not that person that you're voting for is a Democrat and whether or not they are electable. Bernie Sanders' former press secretary, Brianna Joy Gray, she's been very vocal, one, about the fact that she has standards. She's not going to endorse or support Joe Biden until he actually meets her standards. But now that there's more and more evidence coming out with Tara Reid, she's a lot less likely to back him. She's been very vocal also about the damage that the Democrats have done to the Me Too movement. Naturally, she's been treated with complete contempt by the Democratic Party. Bernie was more interested in distancing himself from her instead of actually addressing the issues that she raised. There are Democrats who straight up do not care about these allegations that were made against Joe Biden. They will back Joe Biden right or wrong. They will back their party right or wrong. They would rather criticize other people for being hesitant to vote for Joe Biden than actually criticize the Democratic Party for propping him up, for not properly vetting him. Because I don't know if you guys know this, this story actually broke out a fucking month ago, back when Bernie Sanders was still in the fucking race, back when he still had a chance. So it's definitely important for you to raise the bar beyond any functional adults, because just pointing to Donald Trump and saying, hey, that guy's Donald Trump, Trump is bad, I am not Donald Trump, please vote for me. Did that get Hillary Clinton elected? No. And did Hillary Clinton have dementia? There are many things wrong with Hillary Clinton, but I'm pretty sure she does not have dementia. Quite a few months ago, The Daily Show had this segment bit thing. I think that it works better than what Joe Biden had to say because it was comedic and pointed out some hypocrisy. But I feel like if you're not willing to call out Joe Biden for his mental decline, then you're also a hypocrite. Hey, Donald Trump is lazy. He's negligent. He's irresponsible. Not racist. Yeah, I think that that's a little bit fucked up. I'm sorry. I do want a president who does their fucking homework, who reads everything that they need to read, who doesn't complain about, oh my God, you gave me too much to read. I have to do all of this reading in order to make a wise decision that's going to make a big impact on millions upon millions of people. That's too much work for you. I don't think being the president of the United States is the correct job for you. And then Joe Biden's over here like, hey, I'm going to do my homework. If you elect me, I'll read everything I need to read. I'll do all my required reading. And I really like this response of, boy, you can't even read a teleprompter. And if you did do all of your reading, would you be able to retain that information and communicate it in a way that makes any sense and make any wise decisions based off the information that was presented to you? And that brings me to this troll ad by Trump.
My name's Joe Biden. I'm a Democratic candidate for the United States Senate. Trump was a bad dude.
going nuts.
You'd be the oldest president in American history.
Are
Are
you
you
Winston
really?
Churchill? All right, Chuck. Thank you very much.
It's Chris, but anyway.
It would put 720 million back in the workforce. We choose truth over facts.
Hello, and welcome to the first episode of what we call
Truth Over Facts.
Today we're examining the curious case of Sleepy Joe and, the thing. Our investigation begins at a recent campaign stop in Texas.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by the thing. You know the thing.
The thing was Mr. Biden, who had access to our nation's top secrets during his disgraceful 8 years as vice president, trying to reveal state secrets. Some have suggested he was.
Yeah, bro, I was the first to tweet that I know the truth about the thing. I've seen every national treasure over 87 times. He was snatching documents. As it relates to the thing, I know exactly what he meant. Second declaration.
So we spent the last few days digging around in search of truth over facts. Thank you for sitting down with us. Let me ask, is there a second Declaration of Independence? So there you have it. Joe Biden, who often doesn't know what state he's in or that Margaret Thatcher is no longer the Prime Minister of Great Britain, has not, in fact, discovered a new Declaration of Independence. Join us next time when we will work with a renowned sketch artist who will reveal who or what is a lying, dog-faced pony soldier.
I guess I'm done, aren't I?
I think that, like the Daily Show thing, it works well because it's comedy. So I think that people would like it because regardless of who you're going to vote for in November, it's funny. So you might just pass it along, not based off of your love of Trump or whatever, but just based off of the fact that it's funny.
I'm not the biggest fan of Kamala Harris. I'm not really a fan of hers at all. Although I did vote for her 2 or 3 times before. So there's that. Not for president, of course. I do not understand this whatsoever. She started off by talking about Bloody Sunday. She talked about how she was thinking about all of the people who fought and died for our civil rights. She goes from that to saying that she's endorsing Joe Biden, and I don't really see the link between those two. It's like, okay, I've been thinking a lot about people who have fought for our civil rights, and I've decided not to endorse the candidate who's actually involved in the civil rights movement. I'm not going to endorse the candidate who's been fighting for racial justice for decades. Not just when it became popular. She's gonna talk about the civil rights movement, how that was so inspiring, and with great enthusiasm, endorse the guy who lied about participating in the civil rights movement.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes, and we changed attitudes.
When I was about the age of the guy standing over there, I got involved in the civil rights movement.
He knows it's untrue. Don't take my word for it. Take his.
I was not an activist. I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else.
With great enthusiasm, endorse the guy who opposed busing.
I do not believe you are a racist, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
She was still calling Biden a racist. I'm not calling you a racist. Racist. So what happened?
Wait. He did not oppose busing because he's racist. Oh, no. He opposed busing because he didn't want his kids to grow up in a racial jungle. That's not racist at all. That's progressive. What else was there? Oh, yeah, he was pretty tough on crime.
The death penalty. It provides 53 death penalty offenses. Weak as can be, you know? We do everything but hang people for jaywalking.
But then again, Kamala Harris was pretty tough on crime as well.
I want to bring the conversation back to the broken criminal justice system that is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana.
Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like
And I inhaled. I did inhale.
Maybe birds of a feather flock together. I mentioned after Super Tuesday #1, I was not feeling so well. I couldn't eat or sleep and I felt nauseous. And then that made me concerned because coronavirus is going around. So I didn't know if I was like sick or if I was just sick because I hate Joe Biden so much. I just had a difficult time just wrapping my head around the fact that we started off with so many different candidates who are not Joe Biden and we're ending up with Joe Biden. I was coping a lot better when I thought that Buttigieg was going to be Sanders' #1 competitor, because I read this YouTube comment. It really summed up the strengths that I think that Pete Buttigieg has, and it's something that I would like to see from a Democratic nominee. This man speaks in complete sentences and they make sense. What a refreshing change. I think that Penny Tar over here was trying to diss Donald Trump, but that's also diss on Biden because I have no idea what the fuck he has to say. Unfortunately, Buttigieg had no future in this race because only white people would vote for him. He doesn't have the black vote. Who did have the black vote?
300. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
500, 400, 300, 200, 100, 0.
That we hold these truths to be self-evident. Sounds corny. Not a joke. Think about it. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing. You know how we talk about it. Are we the people?
They would love to see a guy like Sleepy Joe Biden who has no clue what the hell he's doing. They'd say to Sleepy Joe, sir, just sign right there. Oh, okay.
I signed something saying that if I'm wrong, I can go to prison. Did you?
Melissa Caron's feisty testimony in Michigan is getting lots of attention today for all the wrong reasons.
How many registered voters are on there? Do you even know the answer to that?
No, I guess I'm trying to get to the bottom of this here.
Zero. There's zero.
Excuse me. Order in the court, Your Highness.
The late night TV hosts are having a field day, even suggesting she was under the influence.
I'm drinking. Did you have one? Because I'm the one who had a drink. Did you?
Others are comparing her to Cecily Strong's ditzy party girl character on SNL.
Sir, I wrote a written affidavit.
This election is an outrage. It's a joke, okay? It's an abomination.
The way she talked like that and the way she moved her head, she was annoying.
Into that woman beginning speaking, that Twitter was afire with a debate. Who is going to play her on SNL? And a lot of people said Kate McKinnon. But then also there was a lot of people who were like, okay, Cecily Strong hasn't been around for a while. She's been filming her show, but could she possibly come back? Because there's strong shades of the girl you wish you hadn't started a conversation with at a party in Melissa Caron. Well, on Saturday, we found out Cecily had returned and did play, you can see in that photo there, a perfectly wardrobed version of Melissa Caron. That was fun. But Francesca, there was something a little bit less fun about this. In addition to the fact that we found out and talked about earlier that one of the men featured at one of the Giuliani press conferences was a convicted sex offender, we also find out that Melissa Caron has been hiding some legal trouble of her own. Here's another photo of her. This one's a little bit more technical because it's through law enforcement. Police reports obtained by Deadline Detroit reveal obscenity and computer crime charges filed against the 33-year-old Grosse Pointe Woods mom, stemming from a harassment campaign she waged against a 42-year-old woman back in 2018 and 2019. Her boyfriend's ex-wife, Jessica, called Southgate police about Carone multiple times, initially after receiving 3 videos from an unknown email address showing Carone and her ex having sex. Police traced the IP address from the emails to Carone, who initially denied sending them, but revealed she was aware of their content. Eventually, she confessed to investigators, saying her goal was to send Jessica over the top. And that story is the easiest to buy that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Look, she just had to be taught a lesson. And sometimes when you don't know that he prefers me, he likes me. Did he ever do that to you? You? I don't know. I'm here to remember. Yeah.
She's definitely broken into song while yelling at a woman across the Chili's. Definitely.
What is this? I don't know what this is. This is not a thing. I've literally never seen this before. Okay, all right, sorry.
Sometimes front row boy band concert.
Yeah, maybe. Even then I haven't seen it.
Yeah, Francesca makes a great point. Like the absence of any acknowledgement that other wars are ongoing is super depressing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a serious conversation, but it's
someone needs to Photoshop a fire, just like pew.
Incoming in 3, 2, 1, boom, meme.
This moment took the cake. I call this dance "Move of the Hungry Fly."
From burn pits. Many of you have been there. I've been in and out of Iraq and Afghanistan over 40 times.
Laura, she looks like a fly approaching the sugar bowl, you know? But you know why she's so excited? Joe Biden is her Vitrola. He plays out all of her agenda. $15 minimum wage, free child care, build back better, taking on the gun industry. She's delighting. She's almost like a ventriloquist in the back.
I love this.
That's what this excitement is. Oh yeah, we got to start doing this. This is going to be our new sign-off, Laura.
The funniest thing about this is that Biden hits the words "burn pits," and she bolts up like out of her seat like she's sitting on itching powder. I mean, burn pits, yes.
It's amazing.
I don't know if she said barbecue
She's got a second
pits
career.
or what.
She could do a sign. She could be a signer in one of those boxes next to somebody. You know, she could be.
Thank you, guys.
Will you take questions on inflation then?
Let's move. Thank you. Thank you
Do
all.
you think inflation is a political liability?
That's a great asset. More inflation. What a stupid son of a bitch.
I think we have young Mr. Ducey with us right now. You heard Dana's comments and everyone's comments, Peter. Have you been called by the White House or the president and asked to come to the Oval Office tomorrow for an interview?
No. And I don't think that that's coming either. But what's crazy about this is in the longer version of the clip, there was a group of reporters that were all gathered. We listened to him explain the Competition Council, which is the reason that he's having this meeting with most of the cabinet. And somebody shouted out a question about Russia, and the president said, "I'm not going to take questions right now about anything off topic." So I shouted out something that's not on my 2 pages of questions about crime. Okay, what about inflation? Do you think inflation is a political liability in the midterms? And then he said that, and I couldn't even hear him because people were shouting at us to get out. But somebody came up to me in the briefing room a few minutes later and said, "Did you hear what the president said?" And I said, "No, what?" They said, "He called you a stupid SOB." And I said, "Did he say SOB?" And the person said, "No."
He did the elongated version.
Fontaine?
Yep.
So, Ducey, I think the president's right. You are a stupid SOB.
Yeah, nobody has fact-checked him yet and said it's not true.
No one's given Pinocchios for that one. No, but... So you're now, I guess, everyone's talking about you. You're going to be known as the stupid SOB guy. I mean, before you were like the hair guy with the blonde hair. Now you're stupid SOB. Is this something you're embracing, Peter?
Do I have a choice?
This debate was meant to be a showdown between Bernie Sanders and Joe Biden, but their first one-on-one face-off was overshadowed by the coronavirus crisis, starting with the logistics of this debate, which was initially set to take place in Phoenix, Arizona, and eventually took place right here in Washington, D.C. This to avoid any unnecessary travel for the campaigns. It also took place without a live audience. The outbreak was very much center stage and very much the focus of the conversation, taking up about a third of the debate.
Devoid of applause, Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders greeted one another with elbow bumps and podiums 6 feet apart in a largely empty room in Washington, D.C. amidst COVID-19 concerns. Both candidates agreed more must be done to combat this health crisis. Sanders criticizing President Trump.
He is undermining the doctors and the scientists who are trying to help the American people. It is unacceptable for him to be blabbering with unfactual information, which is confusing the general public.
The present system cannot handle the surge that is likely to come. So we should already be sitting down and planning where we're going to put these temporary hospitals.
Both men in their 70s were asked how they're protecting themselves during this pandemic.
I love doing rallies, and we bring many thousands of people out to our rallies. I enjoy it very much. We're not doing that right now. In fact, our entire staff is working from home.
Biden pointed out that unlike Sanders' recent heart attack, he is in good health.
Fortunately, I don't have any of the underlying conditions you talked about that I have to worry about.
Yahoo News medical contributor Dr. Uche Blackstock joining me now. Dr. Blackstock, great to have you back on the show. We know that Black Americans have been hit really hard by this virus. Many Black Americans, as we've been saying throughout this show, also don't trust vaccines. Many Black communities still do not get the health care that they need in our country. These are 3 big problems. What kind of public health messaging would you like to see here around this vaccine? And not just messaging. What do healthcare workers actually need to do to be sure that Black Americans are getting the vaccinations, the information, the proper coronavirus care that they need?
Thank you for having me back, Allison. Yeah, no, these are such important questions to ask. And unfortunately, I feel like we're already months behind. There should have already been an extensive public health campaign directed at Americans and especially Black Americans. I think education is key. I think people are very concerned that this vaccine was developed very quickly.
Governor Ron DeSantis says after healthcare workers and others at increased risk are vaccinated, vaccines should be available to the general public as soon as February. But some people say they are hesitant to get the shot, especially those in the Black community. News 6's Jerry Askin continues our team coverage tonight. He is live in Orange County with a closer look at their concerns and what is being done to build confidence there. Jerry.
Ginger, yes, and today recent studies we found show that many Black people aren't rushing to get the COVID-19 vaccine. Meantime, we spoke today with a doctor here at Orange Blossom Family Health, and pretty much he's saying that many of his Black patients feel the same way, citing things like, mistrust on history and lack of access to medical care. Meantime, many Black leaders today I spoke with agree. Right now, as we're waiting for the vaccine to be available more for everyday people, would you take the vaccine?
Well, no. Right now, I would not take the vaccine. No.
Pastor Stovalio Stovall here at God is Able Outreach Church in Orlando, who is still safely having in-person services, told me he's encouraging his members here to be careful if they take the vaccine. But for now, his main message for them:
if you've been fine and everything, to monitor it and to just wait. And wait before you take the vaccine.
He said he knows many Blacks think twice when it comes to getting vaccines, in part because of past history, for example, like the Tuskegee experiment, where several Black men weren't given the proper medication to treat syphilis. This also coming as a study last month found that only 42% of Blacks surveyed said they plan to be vaccinated. Roderick Zach is the pastor at Rejoice in the Lord Ministries in Apopka.
Me and mine, we're going to have the vaccine when it becomes available.
Hope and hesitation surrounding the COVID-19 vaccine. Recent surveys finding Black Americans expressing higher rates of concern about getting vaccinated. The NAACP hosted a virtual town hall last night hoping to overcome those fears, featuring the African-American doctor at the center of one of the biggest vaccine breakthroughs. TJ Holmes is here with more this morning. Good morning, TJ.
Good morning. And the community most impacted by COVID, least likely to take the vaccine. And to understand that, you have to go back to one of the ugliest chapters in medicine in this country, where the government deceived and then allowed black men to suffer and even die from a disease. So now there's a desperate effort underway to get the African-American community to trust the science. And the response is oftentimes, yeah, but we remember the history.
Not everybody in the community, in the Hispanic and the African-American community, particularly in rural areas that are distant and or inner city districts, know how to get online to determine how to get in line for that COVID vaccination at the Walgreens or at the particular store.
Cut that bitch off!
Man, see, let me break it down for you black and brown folks out there that voted for this man. What he mean by, what he's trying to say is, makes perfect sense to him. To him, from Joe Biden's point of view, just look at it this way. If you're dumb enough to vote for Joe Biden after the things he said about black and brown people, then of course, without question, you do not know how to use a computer. You are clinically brain dead. If you had the ability to do any kind of research, you would have known that this man should not be president of the United States. I'm not shocked at what he said. This is how he sees black and brown people. What's the thing they say about the voting? If the voter ID laws, right? They say if you force black and brown people to present an ID, that's racist. Yeah. What are they really saying? The reason why they say that, they think black and brown people do not have the brain capacity, mental capacity, the wherewithal, the mental ability to figure out how to go get an ID. They don't know what the hell the DMV is. Right. Now, so, and you put that in the context with what he said, it makes perfect sense. That's how he sees black and brown people. If they ain't got the capacity to bring an ID to vote, how the hell would they ever figure out how to use the internet and a computer? Yeah. You got to turn it on, got to type, got to know how to read. Black and brown people can't do that. That's how Joe Biden sees it. Yeah, y'all slow. Y'all don't have the education. Other than y'all coming outside y'all's teepee building a nice fire, y'all can't handle real life. Yeah, that's how Joe Biden sees you guys. Stick to building fires with sticks. And killing killing game and cooking it cooking in front of your teepee. That's how Joe Biden sees y'all. Y'all are not civilized. Y'all a bunch of Neanderthals. Who the hell don't know how to use a computer, internet? Yeah.
Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You's a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up? Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good, won't you vax that thing up? You's a handsome young brother, won't you vax that thing up? Dating real life, you need to vax that thing up. Feeling freaky all night, you need to vax that thing up. Girl, you look good.
You got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine. It's about community immunity, I'm talking unity for you and me. If Doc says it's good, then trust me, it's good. Now let's all get the vaccine. I got the vaccine, you got the vaccine, they got the vaccine, we got the vaccine. We can get back to normal, let me inform you, let's all get the vaccine.
Bad virus.
Speaking of everyone getting their show, who do you think we're going to be talking about next, child?
Oh.
Who are we going to be talking about next?
Child.
It's the one who ran on the lam as a nun.
Child.
Child.
Whoopee.
Child. She also, I think, talked about Barry Weiss there, but she was really mad about Bill Maher discussing the actual science. And of course, what ends up happening is, this is the same thing they always do. What if it saves one life? Okay, how many millions have been exterminated in the abortion holocaust? But here's the thing, not Joe Biden, Whoopi Goldberg. I just old people who fart.
How did you do that?
It was a me cushion.
What is this, ghost?
I don't see color, child. I don't see color, child. I see Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore getting action on pottery, and I was just paid as an extra to watch.
That's right. I will follow him wherever he may go.
All right. Let's try this again.
All right.
Yesterday, Whoopi Goldberg was very upset that Bill Maher was discussing the science, tried to browbeat him, but there's a Freudian slip here. Let's see if you can catch it.
Take a look.
I don't want to live in your paranoid world anymore, your masked paranoid world. You go out, it's silly now. You have your mask, you have to have a card, you have to have a booster, they scan your head. Like you're a cashier and I'm a bunch of bananas. I'm not bananas, you are.
That's not really funny to people who've lost their kids to this vaccine, or people who've lost family members or dear friends to this. It's just, listen, nobody on the planet really wants to go through this. This is not something we're doing because it's, sexually gratifying.
Whatever's sexually gratifying to you is the stuff of children's nightmares.
Where's the rest of the Parliament Funkadelic?
But did you catch what she said?
Yeah.
Not really funny to people who've lost their
Kids to this vaccine.
Oh, weird.
Lost their kids to the vaccine. Now, I know, probably just, she misspoke, but hey, YouTube, are you going to, the View channel, are you going to take them down for COVID misinformation? Do we know Tokenawan? Are they still up? Tokenawan, why is everything blurred there, the channel?
I don't know. I guess that's the action they took.
It's the sexual gratification. Like, you got to blur the sexual stuff.
I think it's just because it's gross.
Yeah.
Gross. And this is what they tweeted out. It says, it's a quote, "That's not really funny to people who lost, ellipses, family members or dear friends, ellipses. This is not something we're doing because it's sexually gratifying." Hold on. They lost who to what? Who, what, when, where, why? That's the first rule, right?
Took out the stuff that mattered the most.
They took out lost to the vaccine.
Joe, you suck!
What are the people who died? What would they be thinking? They think this makes sense for us to do this kind of thing where you ride down the street and someone has a sign saying F so-and-so, or, I mean, it's not who we are.
He just won Talladega, didn't he? Yeah, he just won a race. This dude is a professional car racer, man. Yeah, he's a professional car racer. Even though to me he doesn't look like a car racer. Yeah. I mean, bring back Richard Petty. Yeah. Dale Earnhardt. Yeah. The good old days. Gordon. Those good Southern prideful men. So, long story short, he won a race. He's been interviewed by NBC reporter, and they're chanting. Yeah. Tell me what y'all hear.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first two stages and just watch and learn. What did you learn that helped you there in those closing laps?
Oh my God, it was...
oh my God.
Each line didn't stay to one, and everything shifted top to bottom so much that it was kind of like, okay, let's just stay patient where we're at and hope for the best. And
like, if you don't know what he's talking about, did y'all hear what he was saying? Let's switch from top to bottom. Yeah, the only thing he wasn't saying let's go Brandon. I mean, this is. They said I heard him clear. They said I voted for Joe Biden. I voted for Joe Biden. That's what he said, man. I heard him plain as day. That's what he said. Are you being facetious? And then I heard him say, I am an idiot.
Man, shut up. That's not what they're saying.
Yeah, I voted for Joe Biden. I'm an idiot. That's what I heard.
Y'all know what they were saying. The most popular president of all time.
You know, I think before this election, the most votes anybody had ever got was, I think, around 70 million.
That's Obama on it.
I don't even think it was that high. I think it was around 68, 69. Joe Biden.
Who knows, man?
Joe Biden crushed it.
He crushed it, man. Damn underdog just came in and just killed it.
Think about it. He ran for president twice before this and lost miserably. This time, he just got all the votes possible.
Third time's the charm, I guess.
Yeah, but you know what have made this interview so much better if Brandon would have grabbed his head out of his ass and said, that's not what they're saying, lady. They're saying, fuck Joe Biden. He's going, oh my God, we switched from top to bottom. It was great.
Let's go, Brandon. The phenomenon that began, of course, when during a NASCAR race, the crowd was shouting, fuck Joe Biden. And the reporter off her own back, because if you're a fan of football in England, there's a lot of expletives. The referee's going to get called a wanker. There's going to be a lot of aggressive, sweary, curse-laden chanting. Seldom do the commentators try to pretend that they're saying let's go Brandon or let's go anyone. Let's have a look at what happened, see if we can understand this phenomenon. And let's face it, it's yet another example of media bias and deception, albeit one that has been embraced and turned into a powerful meme and now a hip-hop #1.
Thank you to all of our partners. Oh my God, it's just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me, as you can hear the chants from the crowd, let's go, Brandon. Brandon, you told me you were going to kind of hang back those first 2 stages and just watch and learn.
I never heard the words fuck Joe Biden more clearly than as it's being chanted by that NASCAR crowd right there. I wonder if it's like that she feels just a bit embarrassed about it. Oh my God, his name's Brandon. This is useful. I feel like she got some balls to try and make that work. And I also feel slightly sorry for Brandon, whose moment of triumph in NASCAR has been graffitied over by people's dissatisfaction with Joe Biden. Now, firstly, let's go Brandon is a code for fuck Joe Biden, but it is a code, right? So it's sort of cheeky and funny. It's not hateful and dangerous, I don't think. And I've got no dog in this fight. What? Southwest Airlines itself says let's go Brandon, and every one of the 54, only an idiot would assume that, or someone that's willfully and deliberately trying to create a situation of ongoing opposition, suspicion and condemnation of a massive portion of the population, preventing there ever being meaningful progress, togetherness and a new emergent political systems, because however they may frame their opinions, really they're deeply invested in a kind of authoritarian conservatism, albeit an apparently liberal one.
Southwest Airlines is launching an internal investigation after a pilot reportedly signed off a message to passengers by saying, let's go Brandon.
Let's see what they say over at CNN, where I go to get my news.
Now, that is a phrase that has become conservative code for swearing at President Biden.
Swearing at President Biden, like any president, even the nicest and most beloved presidents in history, have to make decisions that end the lives of children a couple of times a month, don't they? Like, we're going to have to drone that place, we're going to have to bomb that place. Swearing at them? Come on, man.
Airlines Pilot Union sent a memo to all of its pilots just last week saying to not use the emergency frequency that pilots use, typically not for screwing around, to say this let's go Brandon phrase.
They're using it to say it to each other. Hey, let's get on the old emergency thing. Let's go, Brandon.
They say they sent out this memo because of this, and it says that frequency is not to be used as a political pulpit. You know, I'm a pilot. I fly a little airplane. I monitor this frequency all the time.
I monitor it. I'm a pilot. I'm pretty serious. Look at my haircut. My haircut's serious. My tie is serious.
You're supposed to listen to it. I've heard FJB. I've heard Let's Go Brandon. This is a real problem.
It's not a real problem. Like it's interrupting flights. Oh no! There's a mountain. Let's go, Brandon.
And it's happening in a place where pilots can only hear, but also now in a place where the passengers can hear too.
I mean, it was bad enough when it was just pilots hearing someone says 3 words, but now it's whole adults.
And you've heard that on that line from commercial pilots?
It's anonymous, so you can't exactly tell.
I can't tell, but I know some of these guys must have jobs, and they shouldn't have jobs. If you're going to say, let's go, Brandon, on a private frequency. You should be strung up by a chain and dangled in the sea as fish bait.
The frequency is 121.5.
Give away the frequency, people will be all over it.
And so you're supposed to listen to it all the time. It's for Mayday calls. It's for serious stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've heard it.
You little square, man.
Right. Excuse me, buddy boy. This is for emergency signals only.
So
Southwest Airlines story is as fake as Hunter Biden's laptop. Don't let the Russians lie to you. People love the vaccine mandates, even the thousands who've been fired because of them. They know perfectly well how naughty they've been. They need discipline, and they're grateful to get it. Thank you, Mr. President. May I have another? To NBC, for example, your doubts about the fairness of the last election have not only been settled, they're now illegal. You're not allowed to express them ever again. So we can be thankful that there was a credentialed representative of NBC Sports on hand earlier this month when fans at a NASCAR event began to spontaneously celebrate Joe Biden. If the NBC lady had not been there, you might very well have misheard what the crowd said. Watch.
Oh my God, just such an unbelievable moment.
Brandon, you also told me I can hear the chants from the crowd. Let's go, Brandon.
F Joe Biden? Please, come on. Wake up, America. That's like looking at the thriving, incredibly robust economy all around us and concluding there's inflation. Settle down, Vladimir Putin. That's ridiculous. What they said, and you could hear it very clearly if you just open your ears to the truth, is let's go, Brandon. The NBC lady made that very clear. Not F Joe Biden, let's go, Brandon. But who is Brandon, you ask? Well, just another happy American who is grateful for the wise leadership of his benevolent president. In fact, Brandon is a newly arrived American, part of what we call the Biden generation. He's an undocumented trans Haitian migrant now enrolled, thanks to a Pell Grant, as a film studies major at NYU, as well as a part-time non-binary rights activist and puppeteer. Brandon is the embodiment of the new American dream, where everything's free but everyone is still angry. Just this month, thanks to Joe Biden, Brandon got his 4th COVID shot. That means he's an incredibly good person, far better than you are. And the crowd is simply celebrating that, as grateful people spontaneously do. Let's go, Brandon! Let's get a 5th shot! Let's go, Brandon! So once you strip away the Russian propaganda, it's all pretty obvious and natural. But it does make you wonder, if you pause for a moment, if the Russians are lying about Brandon, what else are they lying about? And we're glad you asked. They're lying about hospitals. Vladimir Putin is making up stories about our hospitals here in the United States. Putin claims that our healthcare system is collapsing because of Joe Biden's vaccine mandates. And that's preposterous.